very warm welcome back to the Palace on this Saturday night for the biggest event of the year. It is the grand final. It is between two of the greatest players ever to have played this game, Marc Boyle against Marc Farnsworth. It is going to be a classic. I think it's time to hand over to the commentary box and Marc Pickworth.
Thanks, Kevin. And it sounds like the players are ready, the referee's ready. This match is moments away. So who's winning the lag? This could be all the difference. Marc Farnsworth winning the lag. I think this is what the fans wanted. You know, we did the poll earlier on, and they said that, yeah, right. Well, who they wanted to win or who they thought was going to win. Marc Boyle did win that poll, followed by Marc Farnsworth. So, well done for getting that right. Definitely making the final two. But who's going to win this? That's the question. Who's your vote for? Is it Farnsworth? Is it Boyle?
IPA Grand Finals, Professional Final.
Yeah, get your score predictions in there as well. Like to see that. Thanks a lot, Martin. Frame number 1. Marc Farnsworth to break. Successful break. Come on, Elf Garnet, don't sit on the fence. All down to breaks. Come on, get your score prediction in that. So, successful break, Kevin. And I'm obviously joined by Kevin Barton. It's been as all night, hasn't it?
I'm meant to be retiring. I've never been so busy.
Is this what the fans wanted? These two playing off for this £10,000 prize.
You know what? I think these two players are not even thinking about that. I honestly think such is the rivalry and intensity between these two. They just want to beat each other up on the pool table, of course. And I think that's all they're thinking about. Yes, the money's nice, don't get me wrong. But, you know, the winner of this will win much more than £10,000. And I think that's what makes it such a fascinating final. And both players pretty comfortable winners, really, in the semi-finals. They are the best two players here this weekend. And I think this final is going to live up to all the hype.
Yeah, I think looking at this, I mean, the way that these two have played, definitely been the best players this weekend so far. You know, they have been pretty devastating around the table and really punishing their opponents, but there's a few lapsy-daisy shots that we've seen from both of them, and there's another one. The first one made by Marc Farnsworth. He'll be a bit disappointed with that.
Yeah, just nowhere near got enough screw into the cue ball. So I think, you know, these players have, you know, pretty much won everything in the game. But believe me, there'll be some early nerves. There'll be some, yeah, till you get that first frame on the board, there will be a little bit of tension in the arm. But he's made a good attempt of the snooker or the poor positional shot.
Yeah, he's still got a slight advantage in this frame. I mean, I don't think he's going to see too much of that red.
I would hazard a guess, Mark, that he won't be seeing any of it after this next shot.
Definitely not.
I think based on the semi-final performances, I would say Marc Boyle is a marginal favourite. But these two are such great players that any result is possible. Any result. But I think, 10-7, 10-8 to either one of these is the most likely outcome. No, I'm not too sure about that one. Not too sure about that one. He's left a relatively easy one cushion escape.
Yeah, it's definitely a route to that one cushion escape, and any contact on the red, you'd expect it to drop, and then you've got to say he's going to leave himself a shot on the black.
So big moments early on in this match. That's close. Oh, just didn't quite get the pot. So now a good chance to mark. Certainly all the yellows out in the open. He'll be looking at a way that he can pot one of his yellows and try to move that black whilst making sure he leaves himself on a pot. So that's what he'll be working out now.
Yeah, play this into the centre, but if a shot to nothing. Making sure the pot.
Certainly not ideal position there. Bit in betwixt and between.
Yeah, I don't know if he can get through to that one. On the right-hand side of the blue spot. And we should play into the right centre. Overhead suggests, doesn't really tell us anything much clearer.
Looks like he can.
Could easily do it. It's all about the black though. Which pocket that's going in. The obvious pocket is blocked. But he's going to have an opportunity to bump it out somewhere. He'd like to bump it out with the yellow left on the table. Would you say so, Kevin?
Well, it's is he going to leave it till his last ball, or is he going to do it from this one? Yeah, he's doing it from this one. So white top cushion, a little bit of touch of left-hand side. Try and bring the black out, and then leave himself the yellow into the right middle. Just like that.
Yeah, it's quite a big target with the black being off the cushion as well. So definitely made it easier to hit. But, where he's left the cue ball, he's left a natural angle to drift down for the yellow onto the bottom cushion.
Yeah, worked it out well, as you would expect from the number one player in the world. He's won 3 titles this season. If he could win the grand final, it would round off what has been a spectacular year. No mistake with the black, and it is first blood to Marc Boyle.
Yeah, that's off the Marc Farnsworth break. So you've got to say, advantage Boyle. Yeah, this is probably the main match. We want to be. Everyone's been waiting to see.
Well, the good news for our listeners is that we've got our lead commentator, Dan Fairway, chomping at the bit to get into the com box. So I'll step aside. I've done that twice this week. And and let him in, and let's get some expertise in here.
Yeah, still waiting for that person to come along, for the expertise. Good to see Dan Fairway back. He's got a match soon, so he's just going to... I know there's a few people out there that's missed his voice. So
Good evening. Good evening, all.
gives Kevin a bit of a rest as well. Yeah, so, I don't know if you've seen this match already. I mean, we're only the second frame in. Marc Farnsworth had a good break, but didn't clear up, played a poor positional shot.
I've been keeping up with it. Went off and had a bit of a break. Marathon session in the box earlier.
Yeah, you did. God, it must have been...
It was near on 5 hours.
5 hours, I can say that.
So yeah, went and relaxed, refreshed, and got a kebab, as you do.
Yeah, it sounds quite
It
normal.
was really good, actually.
Normal pool diet, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what vegetables are when I'm on tour.
No.
But you have to say, I was looking at the scores, and this is always the tie that jumps out, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Boyle versus Farnsworth is kind of the match you want to see. There are plenty of others, but this is very, very high on the list.
Yeah, and these have probably been the two best players this weekend, no offence to anybody else. I mean, we've seen some great performances throughout, but these two, they've been pretty consistent. That's what it's about when you get to the top of the game.
I don't know if it's just the way it feels, but when these two play, for me, it goes one of two ways. Either one of them absolutely runs away with it, or it's very, very close. There doesn't seem to be too much of a middle ground. I don't think you see too many sort of 7-4s or 10-7s or... You get the feeling, though, with such a big prize on the line here as the Tour Grand Finals, the £10,000, this is going to be one of those close battles.
Yeah, and also, the bragging rights, because, these two have played each other a lot of times.
This is a big shot. Wants to get right behind this last red. Good enough.
Yeah, they're like another 2 or 3 inches light, but he's, you've got to say, played it well. Got a brilliant direction off the cushion with the cue ball.
Yeah, I was slightly concerned for him halfway through that shot that the cue ball was going to maybe stop 4 or 5 inches before where it actually ended up. But it just seemed to keep going and gives him this great opportunity.
Again, played that really well. Great pace. Left himself, pretty relatively easy black now. To take a 2-0 lead.
That's what the pocket's there for, to be used. And it certainly was used by Marc Boyle, but he does lead by 2 frames to 0. Now, a word for our sponsors, Raffle House. There is somewhere amongst the photos of trophies and winners and players on our IPA Facebook page a link to enter this competition to win this £2.6 million dream home in Hampshire. Or if you don't fancy living in Hampshire, you can take the value of that house in cash. And also the chance to win this Land Rover Defender.
Not a bad run around for you, that one, Dan.
Do you think? I don't think it suits me. I think I'd sell that. I don't live that far out in the countryside. Don't need a Land Rover. Now that's a proper break-off shot from Marc Farnsworth.
He had a good break last time as well, but didn't take advantage of it. You know, can't be too critical first frame. But he won't want to be giving Marc Boyle any more chances.
No, it's not a particularly difficult table, this, but there's a choice to be made here on colours, and he's going to go yellows, I think. It's just about getting down onto those two yellows closest to the camera. If he can leave himself a nice angle on that yellow to the left centre to drift down towards this corner, he'd be made up with that. Hasn't got it just yet.
No, and that's something that Marc's very good at, the shot selection. You know, he does seem to get a lot of them right.
I suppose the other consideration with that particular yellow is it's the perfect ball to land on the 8 ball. So if he can get down to this corner without having to use that, then he probably will.
Yeah, I mean, just bumping that red out of the way a little bit is definitely going to be helpful. So it will depend on the angle he's got here. Not sure what he's got. Yeah, he doesn't have to do too much with the cue ball. But
No, if he could screw past the red and get down towards those two, though, that would be a result. Nothing doing, though. He was absolutely plumb straight on that in the end.
yeah, it looked like he had a slight angle. I thought he was going away from his work a little bit. But he's fine.
Yep. It's not an absolute gimme yet, this chance. And this will be the shot. But then getting down onto the 8 ball as well is not necessarily going to be the easiest task. Oh, does this yellow pass? Doesn't look like it does, but it
No, it doesn't.
clearly it does.
Yeah.
Well, that takes pretty much all the jeopardy out of that finish.
Yeah, I don't think he had all the pocket, but, you know, he was directly behind it, so he knew. And this is what he's played. He's landed a little bit straight on this. But if he can get out to where that red ball that he's just queuing over now, he'll be okay. Oh, he's underdone that again.
That's so close. He's not on this.
That's very jabby.
I think a bit of a swerve and he might still be okay here, but it's definitely missable.
It's careless.
It was probably the shot before, as you said, just didn't give himself any angle to work with.
Oh,
Cushion first. Can't even swerve it. Oh, he's got it. Has he? No.
he's hit it. But where he's hit it to. Another opportunity missed from Marc Farnsworth.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see Marc Boyle go for these, to be honest. I think he can probably promote that red on the right-hand side and get a pretty telling snooker here. Because he needs that yellow out of the way, really, to get nicely on that 8 ball. rid of that red suggests that he's backing himself to make these. Which I'm slightly surprised about. I feel like it's hard to question one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, and I think with these moments, Dan, when you're at the top of your game, you want to really punish your opponent. You don't want them to let them come back to the table. You want to punish them to the max by, taking the frame out of this opportunity.
I don't entirely disagree, but that yellow is so safe.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Well, you don't want him to come back to the table. Some shot that is.
Well, yeah, that is perfect.
You can say he had a little bit of run there because he's obviously double kissed the black, and if it run any further, then he probably wasn't on the ball. But
that for me was the problem with that route. That there was an opportunity for it to go wrong. The way he's played it, he's negated that opportunity and done everything he needed to do.
Yeah, the way he's directed it towards the black is phenomenal. But he's setting a statement out straight away in this final.
Well, I said these matches go one way or another, either a close battle or a thrashing. The way that Marc Farnsworth has started this match, it would be worrying signs for the Englishman. As you can see, plenty of action still going on here in the Isle of Man. We are, of course, starting the Open. That will be reaching its conclusion tomorrow. And we do also have the semi-finals going on in the amateur competition. And the amateur final will be our first featured match tomorrow. It will be between either Declan O'Callaghan or Johnny McDermott and Steve Wall or Gio Edgar. Johnny McDermott 4-3 up on Declan O'Callaghan at the moment, and Gio Edgar leads Steve Wall by 2 frames to 0.
Yeah, Gio Edgar, the number 1 ranked amateur player.
By a margin as well.
Not getting caught. And he's now 3-0 ahead against Steve Wall. I don't even know how good Steve Wall is.
Yeah, former professional, of course, Steve Wall.
Yeah. World Masters champion.
Yeah. Marc Boyle, well, the famous Boyle break has let him down.
Yeah, we've seen some of this already tonight from Marc. It's not been ultra consistent.
It's amazing, really, isn't it? Because we're 4 frames in. Marc Farnsworth had the better of the breaks, and he trails 3-0. Can he make amends in this 4th frame? I feel like he needs to.
There's another opportunity for Marc. No doubt he's going to be a little bit frustrated as he's not got a frame on the board yet. But surely he takes his chance this time.
Now, does that Reddy's closest to pass the bottom left? I'm hesitant to call what goes in what pocket. We are really struggling. Yeah, it does. So this really is a simple chance now.
Yeah, I think he's just got to be careful he doesn't leave himself too much hampered queuing.
Yeah, I mean, I think perfect for this would be an absolute plumb stun shot. I think it would be, the cue would just about be the correct side of the yellow, not directly over it.
Yeah, and he stopped that cue ball dead. So this simple shot into the top left-hand corner. Natural position for the black into the right centre. And we're probably going to see the first rain for Marc Farnsworth. Is that going to ignite him into life, Dan Fairway?
Excuse me. I won't take that as an insult. I'll take that as a compliment. 3-1. Yeah. Well, he needs it to. First things first, he needs to hope that his break keeps working the way it has so far. And if it does, then he's well in this match.
Yeah, I think it's just about this final. It's who gets to keep the concentration the longest. You know, he's raced to tens. Not easy.
Is it cold in there, Marc?
Yeah, a few jumpers being worn.
You don't see many players wearing a fleece.
I don't think it's that cold because it's packed in that. I don't know if you've been in Lucky's Bar. It's
I have.
quite busy in there, isn't it? I
It
know
certainly
they've had the
is.
football on, haven't they?
Has to be said, the hotel have done a fantastic job with that complex. Does look great in there.
It's been working so far this break. Just as I said.
Oh, cue ball. Well, a big hand of apology. If your break's going to come up dry, then that is the way to do it.
That's why
Because
the cue ball.
Marc Boyle will be desperate for a yellow here, and he doesn't have one. I don't think he can cut that back in the centre, can he?
Not with it. I mean, look where the cue ball is. They were glued to the jaw of the pocket, and the pocket rim's in the way.
Now, he may well have a red to the left centre, but the question is it worth taking on, or can he just dig the cue ball in behind the red and leave Marc the same problem?
I think he takes his yellow on. I think that's all he can do. Yep, that was that red that you mentioned, Dan. These reds, they're not easy.
No, I wonder if he might consider just getting in behind this red now rather than with the first shot. Yeah. Oh, did that touch cushion?
Sure. Yeah, I think it did.
There was a little movement back, wasn't there? But sometimes that can be a movement off the cushion, and sometimes it can just be the cue ball rocking slightly, and it can be difficult to tell.
Yeah, there's no question about it. So definitely played it okay.
Thing is, these reds are in such a bad position, really. But Marc just needs to ensure a hit here, which he has done, and that's a hell of a return, to be honest. Marc's going to really struggle to find anything from here. He's got a double on the first red. But these just aren't in a finishable position, are they? And even if he plays that double, he can't get the cue ball down table to play a similar safety shot to the one prior. So,
yeah, as you said, it's all right playing this double, but what's next? It's not easy. What's he going to... Has he left himself any shot?
I mean, he had no choice there. He had to do that. He could now try and get in behind the middle of the three reds on the bottom rail. If he plays off the right-hand one. I mean, if you manage to get touching ball, then, you know, it could be a difficult escape for this.
Of course.
Because there's no route out on the left. That's very good.
Very good touch. I think my only concern there was if he did glance out of there, then he was leaving a shot for Marc to clear up. This one's a bit more difficult to hit. He hasn't got so much of a big target.
No, although it was very useful to be able to get out the left-hand side there. And that is, well, a bit of skill and a bit of luck all in the same shot there from Marc Farnsworth.
Do you know
a bit
what?
of skluck.
If it had gone in off there, would he have been unlucky, I think, at that angle?
I think so, yeah.
Boy.
Because the yellow was far enough down table that any contact you would think would push the cue ball towards the side rail rather than towards the pocket.
Yeah, surely there wasn't the room for the cue ball to drop in that pocket then. But it looked mighty close.
Oh, this is not a great shot from Marc Boyle, is it?
Has he blocked any of it? Does that still pop?
I reckon it does. And even if it doesn't, yeah, it does. But it's just made the Reds that much worse as well. I don't know if Marc Farnsworth can take that on now. It's one you don't particularly want to have to pump in. And you feel like you'd probably need to give the cue ball a little bit of action to get on the next yellow. Well, he fancies it. Could drop it in and play the one in the middle of the balk line next.
Yeah, that was the right shot, wasn't it?
Or, of course, he could play the plant, but bridging right over that red. Fraught with danger.
Yeah, I think that one on the balk line, which is behind the black, does it come off the knuckle?
That is an interesting point. If not, he does have a ball to get. Well, great plant. He does have a ball to either get in behind it or move it with.
He keeps looking at it. The second time he's looked at it now.
Yeah, we're not really any the wiser from that camera angle, are we? It doesn't really tell the full story either way.
No, but for him to look at it twice, I think it goes. I mean, the worst case scenario, he covers the pocket.
Yeah. Goes.
Oh,
It goes.
Easy one.
And that is, you would feel, the last real smidgen of hope for Marc Boyle in this frame. Extinguished.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, was 3 frames behind. This is going to go within 1.
Yep. Thing is, it's going to be 3-2, but Marc Farnsworth will have had more of the chances, I'd argue. Just depends whether that pattern continues or whether the tide turns and Marc Boyle, I should say, starts to be the one getting those better opportunities first off.
Yeah, and I think, obviously, this being like a race to 10, you know, it is a long game. So you are going to see a few twists and turns, no doubt. Seen 1 or 2 already. But this has got the makings of being an absolute classic. This black then to go within 1. There you see it.
(3-2) then.
Yeah,
and it's game well and truly on at this point.
Yeah, you've got to say that. It really is. Race to 10. pretty noisy in there, Dan, isn't it? Definitely not going off in the room. I think if this does start to go close, you know, you'll probably see the crowd sort of get round the table.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And there's so much action still going on in the Open, but actually quite a lot of that will start to peter out, I think, in sort of about an hour's time, which might be about right for the conclusion of this final.
Yeah, so we're good, coming up to 20-11 now. So, yeah, I think, you know, probably hit the nail on the head there. Another hour. And all of a sudden, we could be coming to the closing stages of this this final.
I say that, but my match starts in 5 minutes, so...
Oh, you mean you're leaving us? Is that what you meant?
I'm just going to keep an eye on Cuescore, and
As you should.
I'll hang in for as
long as you can.
As long as I can.
So, frame number 6, Marc Boyle to break. It's been working. And it didn't work. It's been okay. It's absolutely clobbered them. Where's the cue ball gone? It's horrible. Or is it? It's got a red, I think. That red that just drifted down.
Yeah, he's got a choice, actually. He could take that yellow to the middle. It's not, I don't think, as tricky as it looks.
Yeah, look quite close with this camera angle a little bit. But no, looking at that, it should be okay. He's got, as you say, a choice.
I think with reds, the problem you've got is you've got to get that cue ball out quite a long way. And you're very close to the red to be able to top that through. But you've either got to get right over to the other side of the table with the cue ball, or you've got to leave a very long plant, those two reds up to the top right.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky getting on another red after this one, if he did go reds. But it's the easier pot of the two. Keeps him at the table.
It's just about got there, and he's managed to get the cue ball out for that plant. He does also have the red up to the top left as well. He's giving himself a choice here. Now, me personally, I'd be taking on the plant because I think the red to the top left, you're running around the table, running into the 8 ball possibly. But that plant looks pretty easy. Ooh. Well, the plant was easy. Has it held up in time? His body language is... It's not full of purpose there, is it? I think that red's just gone a bit safe.
Yeah, I do. I don't think he's got any sort of pot on that red that's next to the black.
Now, good news, he's got an angle to move it. So if he comes cushion first and flicks the red, that would be ideal, I think.
Oh,
look at that. Look at that.
Exquisite. Brilliant shot. Very well controlled cannon.
That was a peach, wasn't it?
Yeah, certainly was. Yeah, seems to be back in prime position now.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to see anything going wrong from here, to be honest.
Oh, I think we just heard that on our headphones, haven't we, Dan? Dan Fairway's leaving us.
Unfortunately, it's my time. I'm glad you said that because I actually didn't hear that through my headphones because there's not a lot coming through these headphones. So I'm glad you told me. But yes, I shall make my way off for my open match and leave you in Marc's capable hands, and I might try and pick up Kev on the way through and bring him back for you.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Cheers.
So just as Dan's leaving us, you know, Marc did take that finish out. So he's back to leading 4 frames to 2. Marc Boyle, that is. Not too much action going off in that room. A couple of spare tables. I reckon probably one of them is Dan's. If it is, we're going to be going back to that one at some point. Didn't hear what table he was on, but maybe one of them is Dan's. He won't like us sneaking up on him either, watching him play. But yeah, 4-2 now to Marc Boyle. Still no signs of, which way this is going to go. Even though Marc Boyle did open up a 3-0 lead, Marc Farnsworth pegged it back to 3-2. Back to the Marc Farnsworth break. Frame number 7. Definitely generating a lot more power on this, Marcus. Oh, cue ball. As I say, a little bit unlucky to get kicked back into that pocket. Oh, never to block it out, at least. There's one free shot. Looking, I think he's got a slight angle on this, just a drift down table. You see it, stunned it down. He's got these 3 reds close together, so just to make sure he keeps his concentration, making sure doesn't make a careless shot. Don't want to make that yellow become too tricky. Yep, elected not to kiss into it. This is just about, if he lays the one in the bottom left-hand corner now, drift down on one of the cushion, just leave himself a shot, let the one into the left centre, because it'll be a natural angle for the cue ball to get out. I mean, there's a couple of ways you can play this, but I feel that's the right way of playing this. Left a nice angle there for this one on the bottom cushion. And leaving that angle, just make sure he doesn't leave the cue ball on the cushion. CJ asking, is the extension 30 seconds? It certainly is. 30 seconds per shot and 1 30-second extension per frame. It's not very long, especially if the balls are scrappy at times. all these players are all used to the shot clock now. So this red into the centre to leave the easy black. Swings it off 2 cushions. And this to open up that 3-frame lead once again. 5-2 now, Marc Boyle leads. You know, Marc can't really do a lot about these last couple of frames. Been a bit out of his hands, you know, so you know, went a bit critical, and obviously the in-off didn't help him. It's how he gets back into this now. And it could be Marc Boyle to break in this one as well. I mean, all Marc Farnsworth can do is just sit in his chair and just hope for a chance. I've seen a couple of dry breaks already from Marc Boyle. But it is about how many more is he going to get. Because when he finds that, I'm going to call it a sweet spot, it can become a little bit unplayable when his break's working. Especially when he's opened up that 3-frame lead again.
Okay, let's see, table 6 then, Dale Lawrence and Sean McGiff. Dale Lawrence, Sean McGiff, table 6.
Generating a lot of pace there. A little bit unlucky where the cue balls landed, but it's an opportunity. We've got an easy starter on both colour sets. At first glance, maybe yellows. Will depend on what them 2 yellows are like in the middle. But the only reason I said that is obviously the red that's next to this yellow is taken now. That hasn't got a pocket. He's absolutely hit that perfect. Probably couldn't have placed that cue ball any better. Jamie asking where the venue is and which hotel. In the Isle of Man at the Palace House Casino. If you ask him what, you know, if you're local, Jamie, you know, you can come down and watch. Yeah, Marc Farnsworth, he's been pretty much sat down for these past 3 frames. And just like that, another frame on the board for Marc Boyle. 4 frames he now leads by. So, frame number 9. Desperate for a ball off this break. Desperate to keep the cue ball on the table as well. Get the cue ball on the table, but he's dry. And look at these yellows. They've all got pockets. I feel like this match is now getting away from Marc Farnsworth. Does that yellow pass into this bottom left-hand corner? I mean, that camera suggests probably not. But the overhead suggests that it probably did. And that camera angle there, there's definitely room there. I'm expecting this to be potted.
On table 13, then please Steve Wall with Graham Bates.
The amateur final for the men. That's been confirmed now. It's going to be Johnny McDermott against Gio Edgar. The Battle of the Scots. It'll be our first stream match tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
And Declan McCallaghan, table 4, please.
So, yellow as it is then for Marc. And, it's really difficult to see where he's going to go wrong here. You know, if he takes these 2 yellows and the top half of the table, and drift down table, at the final 3 yellows. It's looking like he's going to up a 5 frame lead. Yeah, and this has just been simple dot to dot. This is off the Marc Farnsworth break. And it goes 7-2 now ahead.
Wait for Graham Bates, please, on table 13. Graham Bates on table 13.
Marc Boyle's break. 7 frame 2.
So, frame number 10. Here we go. Just about to say a glimmer of hope for Marc Farnsworth, but the last roll of that yellow. The yellow has dropped. And do all these yellows have pockets? Or is he going to go take these reds? I mean, the reds definitely got all pockets. Probably even colour set there. Yeah, so this is probably a key shot for him. That is in the bottom right. Just draw it back a little bit. And it's just about navigating the red into the bottom left. It's pretty perfect. Yeah, this has been a bit of a masterclass from Marc Boyle. No, he's not missed a ball for a while now. And a very one-sided affair. 8-2 he now leads. 2 away from being the grand final winner once again. Not seeing too many comebacks on this TV table this weekend.
Frame 11, Marc Farnsworth break. Again, frame 2. Time running.
Yeah, good break. That black as well still goes into the top left-hand corner, so probably feel like he's going to try and take this clearance out. Yeah, nice shot there from Marc. Just left this now nice and simple. So
See him on the frames, it's me, one Marc. Well
Another frame on the board for Marc Farnsworth. 8 frames to 3. Yeah, got to agree with some of that. Actually, Stephen Mitzi won. Can't say Farnsworth is playing bad. It's all on the breaks. It's a lotto when top players play each other. Yeah, it's fine margins, definitely. So, frame number 12. Boyle breaking off. Farnsworth just stop that little bit of the rock. Taking 5 frames on the spin he did. Spotted the ball. What's the outcome? All about the middle 2 balls, the red and that yellow. Depending on which colour set he'll take. Can he get that out with one of them? I think it's the obvious one. He'd get it out with the red. But he might be knocking the red safe if he did go and try and get out with that one. So he just needs to be a little bit careful of his work here. Yeah, so he has elected the reds. I suppose if he can put this into the right centre now, I don't know how much of that red he can see, then that would help. I think he looks, that angle there suggests that he's okay. And then of course, the one in the top half of the table, don't be leaving that there too long, unless he does make it his last ball and just try and trickle down. Maybe with a choice of one inside to get on the black. Stephen Mitzi asking how I feel about Kevin packing it in. You know, I mean, things always evolve, and good luck to Stephen and Paul. Taking it on. Sometimes you need a new, fresh set of eyes. Kevin's done it for 13 years, and he's pretty much done it on his own throughout that career. He's done. I mean, God, if you go back to years of that far back, and you look at some of the old arenas, the old streaming coverage and all of that, and how things have improved and evolved the way it has, the improvements have all been made. So, nothing lasts forever. Yeah, no doubt the IPA will miss him, there's no doubt about that. But, as he's mentioned before, he's quite honest with it. He's still working on some new projects, that might be connected to the IPA as well. So, he'll still work on a bit of a bit of an advisory role in a way, I suppose. Because they're not going to, just like cut ties, because he's got so many contacts, so many skills. Over 13 years, it's a lot to repair if he just walked away completely. So, But at the moment, back to this final, Marc Boyle is punishing at every opportunity. A little bit awkward, this black. But no problem at all. 9-3, he now leads. There's nothing that Marc Farnsworth can do about that. He's on the hill now. Marc Boyle just requiring the one a frame. Yeah, it's tough sat in there in your chair, you know, waiting for chances. You know, and Marc Boyle, he's definitely kept him stuck to that chair. Definitely not been his day. Yeah, not sure if I answered your question there, Stephen. Mitchell went on about Kevin being better bowled and that. You know, how do I feel about it? You know, good luck to him. You know, there's other things apart from playing pool. You know, other priorities in life. So, you know, that's, you know, it's the same for me as well. You know, it's not all about the pool. I've got things going off at home, etc. So, anyway, Marc Farnsworth. He's going to get back into this match. All he can do is just take one opportunity at a time. He needs to take this one first. These yellows don't look too bad. The reds, it all depends on how that red is up on the top left-hand corner. Warren says, can't wait for the amateur final tomorrow between Gio and Johnny. Should be a cracker. Yeah, it certainly will. Don't look like Gio's. Don't look like he's going to be budged from anywhere. He is playing some brilliant stuff, but we know how good of a player Johnny is. I think you're right. It's going to be a cracker. Yeah, pretty sure. You know, I spoke to Gio. You know, he's coming on the pro ranks next year. You know, I'm sure we can't wait to get started. And, deservedly so as well. You know, he's been very consistent this season. He made an open final as well. So he's not just done it all in the amateur ranks. He's been consistent in the open events as well. So yeah, he's definitely going to be someone to be watching out for next year again. Nathan Bulworth says Boyle's the best player in the IPA. He's consistent. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and the rankings don't lie, Nathan. You know, the number one player. And, definitely over the last 2 years, definitely the most consistent. He don't seem to, you know, nothing seems to faze him he always turns up at the right moments, and it's all down to his shot selection, his patterns. Very consistent player. This is what's keeping Marc Farnsworth going a little bit as well. You know, he wants to get back to being, you know, at the latter stages, picking up trophies and competing, you know, with Marc. That clock, though, ticking down. Oh, just rush that a little bit. Shot clock pressure. Now, we're seeing the closing moments of this final. Santa's on the chat. Says evening, lads. Probably just say evening, lad. Me on my own. What a final it's been. Marc Boyle. Once again, proving why he's number one. He's going to take some budging off that number one spot as well. Way ahead. Might take another season and a half to get him off that. Wouldn't be surprised if he's number one for all of next season as well. But now he's looking to close out another final. Jake, we mentioned this earlier. This is his lad's birthday tomorrow. That's why he's withdrawn from the Open. So, you know, he's not going to do the double. Been a phenomenal performance once again from Marc Boyle. This black then to take the grand final title. In it goes, looks up to the skies. Well played to Marc Boyle. Unlucky Mark Farnsworth. Right. I'm going to go table side. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. But don't go away. Just stay and watch the presentation and all the speeches and that. So, but we'll see you very shortly. Yeah, thank you very much. Here I'm at table side, just going to about to do the presentation. But first of all, let's have a few words with Marc. Marc, just pop up. Marc Farnsworth, everybody. Marc, not the final you wanted to see. You had a couple of chances early doors. Could that have been a difference of being a bit closer to Marc Boyle?
Yeah, I made two stupid mistakes. The first three frames, snatched one. I just didn't settle. Made two daft mistakes. You can't afford to give anybody somebody like Marc a soft lead like that, you know. Obviously giving anybody a lead like that, just making two careless mistakes, you know. But somebody in Marc's standards is just not going to let you off the hook, you know. So I've been comfortable a bit and snatched a couple of balls, went behind, and then obviously Marc just does what he does, you know. He just kept us off the table, punished us, broke really, really well. My break wasn't coming out great, but no complaints, just obviously battered us from the first three frames.
Yeah, got back to 3-2 and, you know, sort of had a little bit of a chance there and then...
Yeah, you know. I still look back the two mistakes early doors. I'm not saying cost us a match, but you've got to get a foothold in the match, like the final especially, you know. But again, you can't give Marc a soft lead, you know. And at the end of the day, you still fight the end, you know. But he played superb, you know. I don't think he missed a ball in the match, to be fair. So when he's playing like that, you give him a lead. It's basically more or less impossible to win, you know. So my own fault for letting him get away, you know, but he was fantastic and deserved the win.
And overall, you know, in this event, you know, you've had a pretty good run. You've got to be pleased with the final. You know, before you came here, I know you've been playing pretty well yourself as well.
Yeah, obviously, like, at the end of the day, you want to win the tournament, though, you know what I mean? So runners up, you know, it's all well and good, you know, but at the end of the day, if you don't win it, it means nothing, you know. So it's just one of those things. It's obviously, I had chances early doors, but even if I took them chances away, Marc's played, I might not have gotten in the match, you know. But hats off to him, you know. He's obviously, I made the mistakes, he punished us.
We have made another final, you know. I know it's not been your day today, but sure enough, sooner or later you're going to be picking up another trophy.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Marc Farnsworth, everybody. Well, he's done it again. It's Marc Boyle. Marc, once again, you had a fantastic start in the match, you know, leading the match 3-0, and you look really confident, but you just know that you can never put this man away.
I was 8-3 up, and I'm still thinking it's not over yet, you know, because I know how good Marc is. A couple of dry breaks, and then he's picked back 4 frames, you know, so I can't. You can't switch off. You can't. So you've just got to keep focused and stay in your chair and just go for it. You know, when you get your chances, you know, rather than try to play tentative. So I just went for the finishes rather than trying to play like wee snookers and stuff like that. So and luckily it came off tonight.
And you being obviously the number 1 player for the past couple of years, probably looking like going to be all season next season as well. You know, you're always looking behind you, and you know people like Marc who's coming back into the game a little bit. You know, they're chasing you, aren't they?
You can't look at anybody else. You've got to, when you're at the table and you're playing, you've just got to think of yourself. Because if you start looking elsewhere, you take the focus off yourself. You know, so whatever. If I turn up, I turn up. If I don't, I don't. You know, I try my best. That's all you can do.
And a little bit about, you know, your fellow IPA players. You know, there's a lot of players that have been a little bit out of the winner's circle, such as Marc, so and Liam and that, but they are battling away and they're chasing you.
Keeping them out. I'm only joking, no, but it's because there's that many good players. There's that many good players out there, and everybody beats everybody because the standard's so high. You know, you need. It's not just about playing well. You need the luck as well, because the break can cripple you at times, or the break can work in your favour. Like the break there worked in my favour, where it kind of went scrappy with Marc a few times. You know, so it's just luck, because everybody's kind of plays the same level. You know, everybody on their A game, they don't miss.
And a little bit about this event, you know, it's always the big one to win. You know, it's the second biggest one on our pool calendar. You know, does it really mean, you know, so much to you as well?
Yeah, after winning it last year, I thought I've got to put on a good show. You know, like, so I wasn't confident coming in, but every round I got better. And these are the ones you want to win, especially the big prize money. You know, like, it makes it worthwhile, you know, because it's a lot of practice that you need to put in, and a lot of dedication on and off the table. So, and it's a long weekend away, you know, so with travelling and stuff like that, so it makes it worthwhile.
And I know you're not here for the event tomorrow, you know, due to your lad's birthday, so, you know, hopefully that goes really well.
I was going to say, this one is for Marcus.
Oh, wow.
Marcus, because it's his 16th birthday tomorrow, so I'll be on the first flight home tomorrow. And for my mum as well, because without my mum, I wouldn't be able to come to these tournaments, because she looks after Marcus when I'm away, and I've got a lot of strong people behind me, like the bomb squad. I've got Santa, you know, I've got a lot of people behind me, you know, so this is for them as well. So, but mainly it's for Marcus. Marcus, the wee man, because I'm missing his birthday, I feel bad, but hopefully this makes up for it.
Well done, Marc, that's all I can say, and well done for the final. And now Kevin's going to pronounce you the IPA Grand Final Professional Champion, Marc Boyle, everybody. Kevin, Marc Boyle's done it once again here in the Isle of Man, you know, winning this Grand Final title. Is anybody going to push him off the perch?
Well, they're certainly doing the best. You know, I think it's quite a fitting end for the pro season that he lifts the Grand Final. You know, he's been the dominant force this year. It's his 4th title this year, and what a way to round off his tour season. Fantastic performance.
A little bit about the players. This they're obviously all looking up to Marc. That's the standard they've got to get to. But Marc Farnsworth, he's put in a great performance throughout this weekend. A few more twists and turns. He could be back in picking up trophies.
Yeah, I think Marc will be disappointed with the final and just how it went. Just wasn't his day. I mean, these guys can play 10 times and it could be 5 each. On this occasion it was Marc Boyle who came out on top. You talk fine margins between these great players, and we know Marc Farnsworth is in great form, and he's won a title this season, and he'll be back in the winner's circle before too long.
And a little bit about the Open event. Obviously, Marc's not here to try and pick up that title as well. Does that open the door for one of the others? An opportunity? Would these players call that? Yeah,
it's definitely an opportunity, and someone's going to take it. I'm just thinking that Marc did the double last year in the Isle of Man, so he's actually going to drop points from winning this event. So. The gap will be closed a little bit, but he's streets ahead in the rankings, and tomorrow's another day, and it could be Marc Farnsworth lifting the title quite easily.
Well, thanks very much, Kevin, and that pretty much wraps us up tonight. We'll be back at 12 o'clock tomorrow for the conclusion of another 4 events, 4 more champions, but well done to Marc Boyle today, and also well done to Tilly Edwards, the grand final champions. See you tomorrow.
When you travel to the Isle of Man with us, the action starts the moment you step on board. Get fueled up, arrive fresh and raring to go. We take you there. Book now with steam-packet.com.
This is our isle. I'll rise. I'll dive. I'll breathe. I'll dream. I'll glide. I'll climb. This is our calm. This is our wild. This is our past. This is our welcome. This is our story. Shaw and Chinya I. This is our biosphere. This is our ordinary. And this is your extraordinary isle.